Okay guys, I hope you liked that last animation video that I made, and now I'm just going to go through and kind of show you what I'm doing in that video. So every animation, that, as I understand it, is made up of frames, right? And so what I did here is I just made frames. So I labeled them frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, and just all the way down. And it shows every single motion that I want my character to do. So you can kind of see in this one, it's just this little guy, right, and he's standing arms straight down. And the reason I have this double backslash is in Python, when you're printing something, if I were to just print, let's say this line here, you can see there's actually an error code associated with it. Oh, wow. And that's because backslash is actually a command line, or it's like a command argument in Python. So I could do backslash n or backslash t or backslash a. Anyway, there are a bunch of options for you to tell Python that when you're printing something, you actually don't want to print the backslash, you want to print something else. So like backslash n is a new line, backslash tab, or backslash t is a tab, things like that. And the way to avoid that is just like here to do a double slash, and then it will kind of smash together and just appear as one. And so I did all my frame options, and this is just the first bit. And I decided I wanted to break it up into different sections. So here I have 9 frames, and then I made this dictionary called frames. And I made some descriptions about what was going on in every single frame. And as you can see, I reused a lot of the frames. So frame 1, frame 2, frame 1, frame 2, frame 1, frame 3, going on and so forth. Because if you're doing the same exact motion again, you can just go back to a frame you've already used. And so here's kind of the meat and potatoes of what the computer is doing. So I have this frames dictionary, right? And if you don't understand dictionaries, it's totally okay. I can go over that in one of our next videos. But I have this frames dictionary, and I want to access all the values. And the values of my frames dictionary are these lists. So I have, in this list, I have F1, and then I have a floating point number, 0.5. And in this one, I have F4, or frame number 4, and again, floating point number 0.5. This one is F3 with a floating point number 0.08. So what are those doing? Well, when I say for val in frames.value, this is shorthand for value, it gets me this list of numbers. And so what I can do is I can access and print just the first item in that list. So the first item in that list is the frame. And as we can see up here, frame 1 is actually this huge print sequence. And so what I can tell my computer, I can say, you know what, I want you to print frame 1, and then I have this function time.sleep value 1. And that's accessing the second value here, and it's telling my computer how long I want it to wait before accessing or doing the next command. And so I'm saying in every single frame it's unique. So this first shot, I want half a second. The second shot, I want 1/10 of a second, half a second, and so on. And so it prints the image I want, it waits, and then I have a specific line here. We'll worry about that later. And then the most important part is this print function. And just like I said, those backslashes, like this backslash here, there are certain commands that I'm telling Python, I'm not actually printing this line, backslash 033C. I'm actually printing, that is the clear command, I guess you could call it. So when I print that, it clears everything in my terminal. And there's a lot of advantages to that when you're programming, but when you're doing an animation, it's super nice because if I didn't have this line, let's just give it a run without this line in there. We'll stop it halfway through, but see how it's printing everything on top of itself? Because I didn't tell it to clear the terminal. And so now when I add that line back in, if I run this code, see how it jumps frame to frame and you don't see any remaining frames. And so now we have this question, okay, what is this if statement for? Well, it actually showed up right here in our little video. And I made a frame, I think it's frame 9, and my character is asking, what's your name? So we see that here on the screen. And I said, when my value is equal to frame 9, I want to get an input. I want to get the user's name. And we can put anything in here. My name is Matthew, but we can do just a play test. I'll put in the name Keith. And it's going to watch and it's going to say, really, your name is Keith? I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. And I have some more frames to show, or that I added in. see if I can get this to drag down. And so I wrote some more frames, or I should animated more frames. I added them into this dictionary. And again, I like to add these descriptions so that way when I'm editing the times for that time.sleep value, I know kind of what I'm wanting in every frame. And again, I have that another for loop. And if you're wondering, why did I break it up into so many different sections of frames and for loops? That really makes it easy for testing. And so when I'm testing this, I don't want to have to watch the whole video all the way through every single time. And so what I can do is I can go up, I feel like this first section is pretty solid. I'm not worried about it. I can do command. I'm on a Mac, so it's command and then /, and that'll comment out that whole section. And so now when I run this program, it's going to skip that whole first section of the animation. I'm not going to show you every single frame because I think that would get kind of old. But that's basically what I'm doing in this program. And in our next video, I'll go through and I'll show you, there's a lot in here. And I think it would kind of get old for you to see every single frame and how I animated everything. But in the next video, I'll do a little more tutorial style, and I'll show you exactly what's going on and how you could make a simple animation.